Friends, good morning. Very good morning to you. A happy weekend to you. Okay, let's start with your queries. Then we'll also discuss about the Nifty, Bank Nifty, and the stock opportunities that are there in the market right now. So, not wasting any more time, let me do the first query. First query is coming in from Arun Maliji, and he's asking about Renuka Sugar. Is again showing a rise till 51. So what chart see more clear? Okay, so Arun Maliji, this is your query related to Renuka Sugar. So here you can see the chart of Renuka Sugar at the behind me right now. The data is updated till yesterday, and what are the charts seeing? Okay, if you remember last time also we had seen this monthly chart, and I had told you about these two levels, these two horizontal lines that I have plotted here on the chart. See, these two levels are very important. This level is 39 and 42. So there is a support between 39 and 42, and this is very important. Why is it important? It is important because, as you can see, right from 2011, so this is 2011. From 2011, the stock was facing resistance here multiple times, as you can see. So from 2011 till 2022, the stock failed to break past this resistance between 39 and 42. So therefore, this level, once now, as the stock has broken here, 3 months back, we got a breakout here. So now, till the time the stock trades above this level, the stock has a bullish bias. So remember this, the stock has a bullish bias. When does this bullish bias fail? This bullish bias will fail only if going forward, the stock would fall below this level of 39. Got it? So if you have a position, you need to have a stop loss below this level. So what will be the stop loss? The stop loss should be 37 rupees. So 37 will be your stop loss. Now the next question is, for how long will the stock continue its consolidation in the current range? So as you can see, for the last 3 months after this breakout, the stock has been trading in this range itself. So 39 has been a support, and on the upside 55 and 63, 64 has been a resistance. So as you have written that the stock has risen about 15, 51 is not an important level. Important level is this, the height that the stock has made here. So I'll tell you the resistance levels as well. See, this is the resistance 63, and below this, I'll just increase the thickness for this level 63, and below this is 53. So 53 and 63 is a resistance band. So you can see for the last 3 months, the stock has gone there in between this range and has failed to sustain and has come down again. So basically, a fresh move, a fresh up move will start once the stock manages to break past this resistance between 53 and 63. So I'll write it here so that you remember. And so the next question that should come up on Renuka Sugar is only if the stock manages to break past 63, or if it fails and falls down below 39. Arunji, I hope you're getting what I'm trying to tell you. So once the stock manages to break past 63, we'll discuss about higher levels. Once it breaks below 39, 37 should be your stop loss. Okay. So that is how the trade is right now. So currently the stock is in a consolidation. This is about Renuka Sugar. Second query is about Piramal Enterprises. Piramal was showing a downside in volatile market, but now again the stock from 2-3 days has increased. So what's your view on the chart? Okay, Piramal Enterprises. This is the chart of Piramal. There's no view. So the stock was going down. Now for the last 3-4 days it's going up. That's it. That is what the view is. Nothing else. Nothing more. Nothing less. So at current levels, you can see that there are resistance levels. The stock has to break past those resistance levels. Yesterday also in the intraday trade at higher levels, there was resistance. So the stock failed to sustain above the at those levels that it trade in the intraday. You can see all these levels 1880, 1900, 1950. These are all resistance levels. So cluster of resistances that the stock has to break. You can see these lines that I have plotted here. So cluster of resistances that the stock has to break first before we generate a view. So if there is a breakout above these levels, then yes, surely you can ask me again and we will discuss about this stock. And if you are already in my broadcast list, WhatsApp broadcast, if you are a member of my mentorship program, then whenever there is an opportunity in this stock, you'll get an update from me. Fair enough? So these were your queries, Arunji. Next query is asked by Nandanji, and Nandanji is asking about BHEL and DFM Foods. Okay, Nandanji, your query related to BHEL. So let's see the chart first. So BHEL right now is consolidating, as you can see. Yes, in the last 1 month, we have seen a good kind of an up move in the stock. So strong move up, as you can see. But now after this move, the stock has approached resistance levels. Let me go to the monthly chart first. Now, as you can see on the monthly chart, a positive thing that you will be able to see is the current lows that the stock is making are higher lows. So that is positive. So if we look at this bottom here, then this next bottom that the stock made was a lower bottom. And now if you look at the current bottom, it is a higher bottom. So where is the price going? The price is going up. So that is a positive. But now there are plenty of resistances for the stock to break before this bottom is confirmed. That also is something which is important, right? So I'll just plot these horizontal lines here. Once these levels are broken on the upside, we can see that the stock has started in a fresh up move. Along with this, we'll also be able to plot a trend line. I'll show you that as well. One second, let me plot the horizontal lines first. Horizontal resistances. And then is the final recent high that the stock made. Levels of plenty of resistances for the stock to break. Basically, short term, I don't think you should be looking at the short term chart. You should be looking at this long term chart, because if you look at the long term trend that the stock is trading in, it has been down for the last many years, right? So there's an important resistance from this trend line also. I will just increase the thickness and color it red. So see, plenty of resistances, as you can see here on the chart. Once the stock manages to break past these resistances, then yes, you can surely take a view on it. So resistances start from 58, 66, 74. So right now, once the long-term chart becomes interesting, means once the stock manages to break past this level of 68 and 74, then the stock would become interesting. And in that case, it will also present short-term opportunities, long-term opportunities. All that will be possible once that happens, right? So this is BHEL. So these are the levels that you need to watch. 8 and 74 is the immediate resistance. Okay, we are done with your query. Next is your query itself, DFM Foods. Let's see the chart of DFM Foods now. First, we'll start with a monthly chart and then we'll go to the daily chart. Now, if you look at this, the chart that you see on your screen is right from 2017 till now. And if you see this chart, you'll find that for the last 5 years, the stock is trading range bound. So higher end of the range has been 425, 450, and the lower end of the range has been around 180 and 160. The rough range 425 and 180. This is the range for the last 5 years. So if you're asking me with a short term view, so long term view basically is consolidation. If this question is from a short term view and from a fresh entry, then you should try and accumulate the stock around these support levels with a stop loss below this support. Upsides to levels of 300, 310 is what you should use to exit the stock. If this query is from a existing position point of view, then as you can see on the long-term chart, the stock is in a sideways kind of consolidation. So either so one thing is, because the stock is trading on support levels, just above support levels right now, you should place a stop loss below these support levels and continue to hold. As the stock approaches the resistance, you should try and exit the view on DFM. Okay, next query is put forth by Avinash Ji. Avinash Ji is asking about HFCL buying price is 7. Can we hold this for target of 500? Let's see HFCL. So we'll go to the long-term chart first. So this is the last 22 year of chart, as you can see on the screen. I will just enlarge this so that you can see the candles properly. Avinash Ji, you can see the chart right now here on the screen. Now, what happened recently is, the stock broke past this resistance at around levels of 62, 63. I will just highlight this with red font. So it broke past this resistance at 63. And then what happened was, after this breakout, the stock dipped below this level of 63. Again, this month it is again moved up above this level. So basically it's trading, considering that level of 63 as a pivot, trades above it, trades below this level. Okay, now the target that you have set, so the question is whether the stock will go to levels of 500. Now, for the stock to go to levels of 500, there are plenty of resistances which the stock has to break first. The resistances start right from the recent consolidation. So I can plot a resistance at the recent consolidation and the recent highs of 100 and a lower level of around 93. So it all starts from levels of 93 first. So it has to first break past the current consolidation. Once it manages to do so, then a fresh move would possibly start. So first, basically right now, so these are the levels that you have to watch. So 93, 101, 138, 212. These are all the levels. Now looking at the short term, so the recent chart. So for the last a few years, you will find that now this is a monthly chart. Remember, one candle is for 1 month. Currently, as you can see, the stock is in a consolidation. This consolidation is this range, as you can see on the chart. So 50 rupees, 50, 55 has been the support, and on the upside 90 and 100 rupees has been the resistance for the stock. So first thing that the stock has to do is it has to break above this range. Once it breaks above this range, then targets of 150, 180, 200 would get activated. Once the stock manages to show strength and starts trading above levels of 200, then the expectation that you have that the stock should reach to levels of 500 and all the other levels, yes, that can hold true. But first thing is the stock should break past this resistance at 93 and 100. It has to break out of the current consolidation that it is. This is about HFCL. Your second stock query is related to IEX. Now, IEX, your query is buying price is 200, quantity is 500, and we expect target price of 700 by this year. Now, if you see this chart here, and if you see this move between 2020 and 2021, so in 1 year, the stock from levels of 40 went up to make highs of 310. So the stock went up by how many times? Went up by 7-8 times, right? So once any kind of a stock displays this kind of a move, after that, if the company is good, if the business is good, then the stock will go through a consolidation. This kind of a consolidation. And how long will this consolidation last? This consolidation will last for minimum of 1 year and maximum of 3 years. At times, it can also be higher. Okay. So, price, please try to understand this. When a price moves up or a price moves down, it cannot do this just because of pure buying and selling that is happening in the market. And this cannot be trading, buying and selling. This demand and supply is created by the business that the stock is doing. So the strength that the demand and supply has is because of the business. Speculation will generate those fast moves and those fast corrections. So overreactions are because of speculation, and the rest of the move is because of the strength or strong demand and supply that the stock. And this strong demand and supply is displayed because of the business that the company. Okay. So your expectation of 700 in 1 year does not look that way, not at all. Why? Because 20 and 21 the stock went up by 7-8 times. And if I put you in the shoes of a promoter, and you are the promoter of a company, you run a business, you are a very good promoter, and you have managed to grow your business every quarter. So every quarter you double your profits. From 100 crore, next quarter you make your profit 200 crore. Then third quarter you grow, second quarter you grow your profits from 200 crores to 400 crores. From third quarter you grow your profits from 400 crores to 800 crores. I am the shareholder of your company. I would expect you to continue this performance. But what happens is, now from 800 crores to 1600 crores, the promoter becomes difficult because the amount, look at the size of profits that I expect you to do. Okay. So it is but natural for a shareholder to expect, after seeing this 7 times move, expecting the same to happen going forward, and expecting the price from 200 going to 7 times, so going to 1500 or 2000. But natural, a shareholder would always expect the company to keep doing well and expect the share price to keep going up. But then that is not reality, that is not a fact. That cannot happen. So as a promoter, when I put you in, or when you think in a promoter's shoes, by putting yourself in a promoter's shoes, you will understand that yes, it is difficult, and therefore these consolidations. So these consolidations happen because the business is stretched, the business reaches a point where it goes into a consolidation. Scaling it from those highs becomes difficult. So it takes time. So the only thing which I would suggest is you need to hold for minimum 3 years. I believe for the next 2-3 years the stock is not going anywhere. Yes, there is a chance that the stock from levels of 150 goes to 240, 250. That is possible. So not denying the fact, because I have plotted the range there. So the range itself is from 150 and 250, 300. So that the stock will continue to trade in this range. Now, the last 6-8 months, 10 months have seen a downtrend. So maybe the next 6 months will see an uptrend, but not beyond 280 and 300. That does not look possible in the next 1 to 2 years. But it, Avinashji, this is your query related to IEX. So I hope I managed to solve your queries, IEX and HFCL. Okay, next query is put forth by Kishore Patilji, and he is asking about Zensar and IDFC. Let's look at the chart of Zensar Tech. Kishorji, the explanation that I put forth for IEX applies same to this Zensar Tech chart. Now, if you look at this chart, then the stock from levels of 70, this level here, went up to make highs of 580. So how many times did the stock go up by? As you can see, you can calculate, right? So 6-7 times the stock went up, and therefore, so sharp move and a sharp kind of correction. Now at current levels, the stock has a support, so no doubt about it. So if we look at this chart here, and if I have to plot horizontal lines, now you can see there are support levels at levels. So in the past also these levels have acted as a resistance and support both, and therefore they may provide support to the stock after the recent correction. So 246 to 27 is the support that you need to watch for the stock. These are the support levels that you need to watch, right? So these levels, 246 to 27. So that's the support. Once this correction is done, yes, we can see a bounce back, but same way, this stock also is going to go through a consolidation, and this consolidation would be between the current levels, and on the upside, see, first resistance is around 323 and 400. So you have to make up your mind that you have to, if you're going to hold this stock, hold it with a stop loss below these support levels, and you have to make up your mind that you have to hold this stock with a long-term view. So for the next 1 to 2 years, the stock is not going anywhere. It may trade in this range, no doubt about it. So 250 and 400, that could be the range for the stock. Quite possibly, first resistance is at around 323 and next is 400. So between these levels, the stock would continue to trade. Next query is IDFC First Bank. IDFC First Bank is trading in a downtrend. There is nothing more for me to say in it. The stock is trading in a downtrend. Normally, what we do is we, because a stock is trading cheap, we are interested in a stock, but that should not be the approach. As you can see, the stock is continuously facing resistance at higher levels. So every time the stock displays a sharp kind of a move, as you can see here, fast move from levels of 45 to highs of 80. What happened after that? The move fizzled out. Again here, what happened? A fast move. Okay, there is one more fast move here. See, a fast move from levels of 30, 35 to highs of 55. What happened? Fizzled out. And now recently also a fast move from levels of 20 to highs of 65. What happened? Fizzled out. Right? So basically nothing more for me to say about IDFC First. IDFC First has to show strength on the chart. After that, we can take a view, and we can see the support levels are at the recent level lows of 30, and resistance is around this level of 50-55. That is the overall range that the stock is going to trade in right now. So from here, if the stock bounces, this should be the range. Until the time the stock does not break past this resistance levels of 55 and then 65, we won't be able to judge higher targets or higher levels in this particular. And the most important level is this particular trend line here that I have plotted right now. This is approximately level of 63 and 65. So the real move in this stock would start once the stock break past this resistance. Okay, then after that we would surely be able to set higher targets. These were your queries, Kishore Patilji, related to Zensar Tech and IDFC First Bank. Next is Vasan Jainji, and he's asking about HCC. Okay, so let's see the chart of now. I'll go to the monthly chart first. Now, looking at this monthly chart, the stock has been in a downtrend at the recent last 2-3 years of chart. Okay, now when we see this chart, you'll find that there is a resistance on the chart, and this resistance is for the right from 2018, these levels. So 16 rupees 60 paise, so 16 and 17 rupees is the first resistance for the stock. The stock currently is trading below this level. Now, till the time it trades below this level, I won't suggest you hold on to the stock. You should exit the stock. There should be a trade, or one should hold HCC only if the stock manages to break past this resistance. That is these two lines that I have plotted here. Once a breakout above this happens, above 16 and 20, 16 and 20 is the resistance, as you can see. And right from 2018, you can see multiple times. So these are the times when these levels have acted as a resistance. Here also you can see, here the price tried to move up, but it failed. So multiple times. So 7 times the stock has tried to go up above this resistance, but it has failed. So I would suggest it's better that you exit the trade, or if you don't want to exit, then your stop loss is at 10 rupees below the recent low. I would suggest you exit the trade and enter a fresh trade only once this resistance is broken, because once this resistance is broken, the move that will be displayed will be a fast move, and the fast move can take the price up to levels of 42, 44 as well. But if you manage, but if the stock keeps on trading at these levels below the resistance, then it will linger on at these levels, right? So that is not advisable. But if this is HCC, the next stock query is related to IFCI. Now this is the monthly chart of IFCI. As you can see, lower top, lower bottoms clearly seen on the chart. After a correction, any stock should be able to gather buying interest. If the stock is not able to gather buying interest, it means that the stock has no interest at all. It is that simple. And the company has to do something which will help people create that mindset of coming and buying that stock, right? So this also I would suggest that you exit, because this also has got plenty of resistances right from 2008. These two horizontal lines that I have plotted here on the chart, as you can see, are resistance. So there's a supply zone here. You look at these levels, they're all resistance levels. Here also multiple times that the stock has come to those levels and failed. So this resistance is between 14 and 18 rupees. So till the time the stock trades below 14 and 18, it's better to exit the stock, get into a fresh trade only once the stock manages to break past above this resistance level. Okay, this is your query related to IFCI. So Sanjay, I hope that I have managed to give you a solution on your queries. Next query is put forth by Shailesh Shahji, and he's asking about Engine International. Shailesh, as you can see on this long-term chart, now this is a monthly chart of Syngin. You can see the stock is going through a consolidation. So after the recent up move that the stock witnessed, so after this, so this up move first, and after this up move, what do you see? You will be able to see a consolidation here. See, so the stock is currently trading in this consolidation. So 500 is this. So 500 has been the support level here. This is the support. So multiple times the stock has come down to these levels and find support and has gone up again. And on the upside, there is a resistance as well. You can see it here. This is around 680. So 500 and 680 is the current range for the stock. And as you can see, the stock is trading range bound between these two levels. So if you are holding or if you are having a position in the stock, continue to hold with a stop loss below 500. So 480 can be your stop loss. And when will a fresh move start? A fresh move will start once the stock manages to break past the resistance at around 680. And now, as I explained earlier also, and as I have explained this many times before, the stock was trading at 280. So why is the stock going through this kind of consolidation? And it's already 2 years that the stock has been in this consolidation. And why is this consolidation there? A simple thing. The stock from 220 in 2020 went up to highs of 680, right? So how much times is this? This is 3 times. 3 times the stock went up in 1 year. So that is awesome kind of return, and that kind of a move is making the stock go through this consolidation. And for how long can this consolidation continue? As I've always said, any kind of a consolidation which is seen after a big move in the stock price goes through for 1 to 3 years. So the stock has gone through this consolidation for 2 years already. So another 1 year of consolidation is quite possible. So 480 should be a stop loss for the existing trade. And when will a fresh move start? A fresh move will start above 680. So if you are a momentum player, then you can use these two levels between 500 and 680 to get into those short-term trades. So 3 months of trade or 6 months of trade, those kinds of trades can be surely done. So whenever the stock comes near the support levels, you buy, put a stop loss below the support. As it moves up, you exit or book profit. That kind of a trade is quite possible. Plus, a fresh trade will happen only when the stock manages to break past the resistance. So this is your query related to Syngin. I hope I was able to solve your query. Okay, next query is put forth by Sunil Girdarji, and he's asking about kelkar and DLF. Sunilji, you will see a similar chart that we saw in case of Syngin. A consolidation, as you can see. So there has to be something interesting on the business front which can take the stock up, and then in that case we may see a move happening. So as you see here, this is the resistance, and as you can see, this is also a support. So it's trading in this narrowing kind of a trading range. The stock has to break above this range for us to discuss about higher targets. So levels that you have to watch are these levels around 155 and 160. Once the stock manages to break past levels of 155 and 160, we'll also be able to discuss about higher targets, right? In which case, levels of 220, 240 would also get activated. So I would suggest you watch these levels of 155 and 160, and whenever a breakout happens, you can ask me about it. And if you are already in my broadcast list, whenever there is an opportunity in SH kelkar, you will surely get an update from me. Okay, your next query is related to DLF. Let's see the chart of DLF. Okay, DLF also is concerned. Right now, most of the many stocks, there are many stocks in the market which are going through consolidation. And these stocks that we have discussed right now, these are also some of those stocks which are going through these consolidations. Now, as you see, 287, 290 is a support for the stock, and this is the long-term support. So the horizontal line that I have plotted here is right from 2000. You can see this level acted as a resistance in the past. How important is this level? So in 2008 and 9, this level acted as a resistance. Later on, this level acted as a support. Then it acted as a resistance, as you can see. For these many years, this level was acting as a resistance, and now again this level is acting as a support, right? So how important is this level? 287 and 290. So a very important level. Till the time the stock trades above this, level, I think you should continue to hold a position in this stock. When will a fresh move start? See, there are other resistance also to cross. So right now I think the stock would continue to trade in this range between 290 and 450. See, this is the range for the stock. So it will continue to trade in this range around these levels of 290 and 300. You can think of adding position. You can have a stop loss at around 278, and once the stock moves to levels of 400, 420, 440, that's when you can think of exiting. Now wait, the stock has already moved to levels of 360, so if I place a stop loss at 278, it will be very deep. So I would suggest that you wait for a correction. Whenever the stock approaches the support levels, you can enter a fresh. If you are already holding the stock, then you can hold the stock with a stop loss at 275, 280. Got it? This is the view on DLF. Okay, next query is put forth by Vishal Ji, and he's asking about TCS and SBI. And the query is like, will it rise or fall target? Okay, this is the chart of TCS, as you can see, and we discussed about this the last session as well. The stock is right now range bound between these two levels. 3000. One second. The levels have changed. 3200 is the resistance, and the support for the stock 3023 and 2885. So currently the stock is range bound between these two levels, and it will continue to trade range bound. As you can see, there is pressure in case of IT stocks, and if I plot a trend line here, you will see that the stock has now approached this resistance line. So you have to watch this level 3200. So it's basically again a view of consolidation on the short term charts for TCS. 3200 and 3000 should be the immediate range for this stock. This is your query related to TCS. The next query is related to SBI. SBI recently broke past a resistance, so there was an invitation at around levels of 490, as you can see on the chart. I will just delete this study. And now looking at the current levels, the stock has a resistance. Now the stock has approached the resistance, as you can see. This resistance comes in from levels that the stock had made in the months of April and May. There is a resistance band here around levels of 520 and 522. So the stock has now approached the resistance band here, as you can see. So if the stock does not break past this levels of 520 and 522, yes, quite possibly we can witness a correction. That is quite possible. The correction can bring down the stock to levels of 495, 490. So overall, the stock would continue to trade in this range, I believe, until unless there is a breakout. Once there is a breakout above 520, 520 is a very important level. Once the stock manages to break past 520, then levels of this level of 540, 545 will get activated. If that does not happen, expect the stock to trade range bound between 500, 490 as supports on the downside, and 515 and 510, 520 as resistance on the upside. So basically, the stock has approached a resistance band after the recent. Okay, these were your queries, Vishal Shedge ji. Next query is put forth by Sanjay Mani ji, and he's asking about what is your opinion on TV. So let me check TV today. As you can see, this is the daily chart of TV today, and you'll be able to see a resistance at the current levels that it trades. I will tell you the level, exact level. So this is the resistance, and on the downside there is also support. So basically, if you look at this chart here, right from the month of May, for the last 2 months, the stock is trading range bound, as you can see on the chart, and this range has been between 240 and 295. Okay, so you have to wait for the stock to break past this resistance. Now with this 305, okay, I'll just write the resistance here. Now wait for the stock. So if this query is related to a fresh trade into this stock, then wait for the stock to break past this resistance band. Once the stock manages to break past this resistance band between 295 and 305, then you can think of a fresh trade entry. Your stop loss for the trade should be, after the breakout happens, the stop loss for trade should be below 295. So 293 will be your stop loss, and on the upside, the stock can move to levels of 400. That is quite possible, but when? Only when the stock generates a breakout. Okay? Breakout has to be valid. That is very important. Okay, so this is your query related to today. The next query is related to Cochin Shipyard. Cochin Shipyard is consolidating, as you can see here on the chart. not doing much. So the stock has to show a strength and move above resistance levels. After that, we can review the chart. See, so resistance levels start right from 340, 345. That's the immediate start for resistance in this case. And this resistance goes up to what level? You can see the resistance goes up to these levels of 400 to 420, 425 as you. So multiple times the stock has gone to those levels and it has fallen from there. So till the time the stock trades below this resistance band, there will be weakness, as you can see here. Every time that the stock tried to go up, there was selling which brought the stock down. Plus, if you look at this trend line as well, you can see these resistances here. So the stock has to break past this resistance first. So 340 is the first level that the stock has to break. Then the second level that the stock has to break is 420. So once the stock breaks past 340, the stock will move, then aim for levels of 380 and 400 and 420. Then the stock, if the stock has to turn bullish in the long term, then the stock has to start trading above levels of 425. Once that happens, we will see a strong kind of a move. Or you can ask me again and we'll review the stock in that case. Right now, the stock is consolidating, nothing more for me to say in this. The third stock query is related to GIC, General Insurance Corporation. The same view in case of GIC as well. As you can see, the stock is 110 has been a support for the stock. So here you will see support, and these are all resistance levels. So 130, 150 is resistance, 110 is support. So the stock has to break past these levels of 150 if the stock has to start a fresh up. So you can ask me, once these levels are broken, if this query is related to a fresh trade, then no, it is not a fresh trade. You should be interested in stocks which display good kind of moves. Who are not lingering like this one. Not be invested in lingering stocks. That is very important. The next query is put forth by Prashant Urunkarji, and he's asking about Bajaj Auto. Okay, Prashantji, this is the chart of Bajaj Auto. See, one thing which you can see is, now this is a long-term chart, monthly chart. Positive thing is, right from 2009, the stock has been trading in an uptrend. Every time that the stock has witnessed a sharp kind of a fall, it has found support and it has moved up. So all these are positive things. Even if you look at the recent low, it has been a higher bottom that the stock has made. So all these are positive. So there's a positive undercurrent which can clearly be seen on the chart in case of Bajaj Auto. Now the only thing is, right now, recent in the last 3-4 years, the stock has moved up, and a strong kind of a move, as you can see. After this strong kind of a move that the stock displayed, so from levels of 1900, the stock went up to levels of 4300. So the stock went up by more than double. After that, what is happening is the stock has gone through a consolidation, so which we have already discussed, which can happen for 1 to 3 years. So quite possibly, right now the stock may continue to trade in this range, and this range would be between levels of 3200 and upsides of 4200. That is the current range that the stock has. The recent momentum that the stock has witnessed has managed to break past the short-term resistances around levels of 3900. So that again is a positive. Till the time the stock trades above 3900, the stock would aim for levels of 4200 and 4300. That is a positive in the immediate short term. For the long term chart to turn bullish, the stock has to break past these levels between 4200 and 4000. Whenever that happens, that will be a good kind of so that will be a positive thing, and that can help the stock aim for levels of 5000, 5500 also. But because the stock between 2020 and 2021 has gone through or has doubled, I believe this consolidation can continue for some more days. or some more quarters before we see a breakout. But whenever there is a breakout, the higher targets are activated. And whenever there is an opportunity like that, you will get an update from me if you are in my WhatsApp group. But so these are the levels that you need to watch in case of Bajaj Auto. Sanji, your next query is related to Cipla. Prashantji, this is the monthly chart of Cipla. So one candle for 1 month. As you can see, after a strong move during the COVID period, the stock is going through a consolidation right now. And this consolidation range is, so the outer end of the range are these levels. 850 and 1080 is the outer end of the range. There are immediate levels as well. So these are immediate levels that I plot right now. 1000, 1005 and this level of 880. So right now the stock is range bound, as you can see. Once the stock manages to break past this range, we can also look at higher targets. And as I have explained in many earlier cases, this happens because of this strong move that the stock witnessed earlier. So from levels below 400, the stock went up to make highs of 1000. So the stock more than doubled, right? So therefore, this consolidation. How long can this consolidation continue? The stock already is in this consolidation for the last 1 year, and this consolidation can go on for another 2 years. It's possible 1 to 3 years of consolidation. Whenever the stock manages to break past this resistance levels, so resistance levels are at 1000, 1080, and support levels are 880 and 850. Whenever the stock manages to break past these resistance levels, you will get an update from me for a fresh kind of an opportunity, or you can also ask me for a review on the chart. These were your stock queries related to Bajaj Auto and Cipla. The next query is put forth by Amar Inamdar ji, and his query is related to Cummins. Amarji, this is a long-term chart for Cummins. This is a monthly chart. As you can see, one candle is for 1 month. Now, if you look at this chart, the stock now is approaching resistance from all-time highs. So this horizontal line that I have plotted, as you can see, there is a complete resistance band between 1160 and 1250. Right? Multiple times the stock has come to these levels. I'll write it here. 1160 and 12. And 1250. So that is the resistance that you need to watch, this band here. Right? The stock currently is trading in this band. Now, short term, I don't think one should trade in the stock on the short term charts. You should look at the long term chart. You should wait for the stock to generate a breakout on a monthly closing above this resistance. That is very important. Once that happens, then you can look at the short term chart and think of a short term trade. A fresh position, I would say avoid. Why? Because the stock is trading below resistance, and this resistance is from all-time high. So if you look at the last time that the stock had gone to this level, the stock had witnessed a correction. Right? Again, after that, when the stock tried to move up, again the stock went through a correction. Now currently the stock is right now trading in that range. So we don't know how the stock is going to react at that resistance of 1250. If it breaks past, then fine, but then confirmation is on monthly closing. Monthly closing is now coming in 7-8 days, right? So I think you have to wait for this resistance to be broken for a fresh trade to be. So this is your first query, Amarji. Your next query is related to Chola Finance. Chola Fin is currently going through a consolidation, as you can see. So these are the levels which you have to watch. There is no trade as such in case of Chola Finance right now. So 595 is the support and 770 is the resistance for the stock right now. So it's trading in this range. If you want to do a momentum trade, let's look at the daily chart. Okay, so if you want to go for a momentum trade in this stock, then yes, try to get into a long trade around the support levels of 600. Place a stop loss at 590 or 580, and then as the stock moves up, wait for to levels of 750 and 760. That is the time when you can think of exiting. Now if you look at the short term chart also, the short term chart also has a resistance here, an immediate resistance below which you should avoid any trade. This resistance is at levels of 690. If the stock manages to break past these levels of 690, as you can see, the latest candle, the stock tried to go up but it failed. So if the stock manages to break past this level of 690, then yes, levels of 760, 770 will surely get activated in that case. But wait for that, for this level to be broken. I hope you got solutions on the queries that you had posted. Next query is put forth by Mustafa ji, and he's asking about Avantel and Novartis. Okay, so let's look at Avantel. See, the stock is currently going through a consolidation, as you can see on the chart, and this happens because of the strong move that the stock has managed to witness. And you can see that this consolidation is not happening for the first time in this chart. It has happened in the past as well. So we had this kind of a strong up move, after which the strong stock went through a consolidation. You can see here, then the stock generated a breakout, a strong up move, and again what is happening? Again, stock is going through a consolidation. So wait for this resistance to be broken. Resistance is around 320, 340 levels. Wait for this resistance to be broken for the stock to start a fresh up. Whenever that happens, you can ask me for a review, or you'll get an update from me as well. So this is related to Avantel. The next query is related to Novartis. See, Novartis for the last many years. So if you look at this chart here, this is a monthly chart, and this monthly chart is right from 2006 till now, as you can see. Now, if you look at this chart, you will find that right from 2011, these levels above 950 have been acting as a supply zone for the stock. Right, all these levels here, 940, 1000, 1099, all these levels. And on the downside, the stock also has got a support level here. So 550 has been a support for the stock. For how many years? You can see 12 years the stock is trading in this kind of a. So stock went up. You can see. Right? It's trading in this narrowing range. So the stock has to break past these levels on the upside for the long term, for the stock to become interesting on the long term charts. As a momentum play, yes, you can surely look at this chart from a momentum play, because the range is big. From 600, the stock goes up to 900, 950. So because the range is big, you can think of a momentum trade whenever it approaches those levels of 600. You try to get into a fresh long trade, and then as the stock moves up and above to levels of 900, you think of exiting. Now, for that momentum trade, we'll look at this daily chart. See, this is the daily chart. And as you can see right now, at current levels of 680, 690, the stock is facing a resistance. So if you have to think, so if you're thinking of a momentum trade, the momentum trade can be done either at support levels around 600, or can be done once the stock manages to break past this resistance here. So once the stock manages to break past resistance at around levels of 680, then you can think of getting into a fresh trade, in which case your stop loss will be below that level. So your stop loss will be at 670, and then the stock would aim for levels of these levels here of 790 and 800. That should be the target. But wait for a breakout to happen on the chart in case of Novartis. So these were your queries related to Avantel and Novartis. The next query is put forth by Subex View. And Subex View asking about Manaksia and Thirumalai Camp. Okay, so let's look at the charts. Now, if you look at this long-term chart, you will find that at current levels the stock finds difficult to sustain. So these levels right from level 85, and they go up to what level? They go up to 110. Plenty of resistances, as you can see on the chart. See, these are all resistance levels. These are all resistance levels. The stock has to break past all these resistances, has to sustain above these levels. Only then we can think of a fresh trade in this. So current levels of 80, I think the stock is in avoid. Wait for an invitation on the chart. Whenever the invitation happens, you will get an update from me. Or if you see it first, you can ask me and I will let you know the view on the stock. Right now it's an avoid. Second is Thirumalai Camp. Thirumalai Camp also is in a consolidation. You can see the long-term chart also. And why is the stock going through a consolidation? Simple. As I explained in some earlier cases, the move that the stock had witnessed before earlier is what is causing this consolidation. So you can see the move here. So from levels of 30, the stock went up to 320. So the stock went up by 10 times. And that 10 times is what is making the stock go through this consolidation right now. And this consolidation will continue. And it will continue for how many days? This consolidation will continue for 1 to 3 years. So already it has been 1 year that the stock is going through this consolidation. So 2 more years is what you have to be prepared for. What levels do you watch? You watch these levels of 200, which is the support, and you watch this level of 320, which is the resistance for the stock. So stock currently is trading in this range. Wait for the breakout to happen. If you are holding position, then have a stop loss at 180. If you want to get into a fresh trade, then I would say that you wait for a breakout to happen out of this consolidation. Once that happens, then you can think of a fresh trade, because after that the move that will happen will be very fast. Well, Jinji, I hope I was able to solve your queries. Next query is put forth by Milanji, and Milanji is asking about United Breweries. Milanji, United Breweries is going through consolidation, as you can see here on the chart. The same way that we have seen in many of the stocks here also. And therefore, I would suggest that you wait for an invitation to happen on the chart. You can see this consolidation here. Right? So it is trading in this consolidation. So wait for a breakout to happen. Once a breakout happens, you can think of getting into a fresh trade. Right now, this level of 1400 is the support, and on the upside, there is a resistance at around levels of 1700. This is a range bound move that is there in United Breweries right now, and the levels I have told you. Your second stock is Tejas Network. Tejas is also in a range bound trade. This is a monthly chart, as you can see. So here you will see a strong kind of a move. From levels of 40, the stock went up to levels of 550, more than 10 times. and therefore this consolidation. And how long will this consolidation continue? Consolidation will continue for 1 to 2 years. Okay. So what are these levels? This level is 360 and 570. So 360 is the support level and 570 is the resistance level for the stock. These are the levels that you have to watch. Okay, next query is put forth by next query is put forth by Tarunji, and Tarunji is asking about Orient Cement and Bharat Forge. Okay, the query is related to Orient Cement. Tarunji, your query related to Orient Cement. Right now on the chart, on the short-term chart, the stock is looking good. Stock has moved up, then it has gone through consolidation, has generated a fresh breakout, as you can see. So an up move, then a consolidation here, and after this consolidation, a fresh kind of an up move. So possibly this a fresh up move, a fresh trend is going to start. Now we do a practical on this chart. Orient Cement. So this is the consolidation. Now what you have to do is, whenever you do a practical, you have to identify two things. First is the price target and second is the time target. Once you do that, the rest of the job is done by the practical sheet. I will show it to you here. The target is 136. The target was 136 and the time target to candlestick pattern. The pattern is a flag. It is you can see now. It is a buy, price target, time target. Okay, so you can do so the rest of the thing is taken care by this practical sheet. So there's an up flag in the stock. What is the stop loss? So the stop loss is 118, target is 136, the time target is 9 trading days. Risk is 2 rupees 95 paise, reward is 15 rupees, and the risk reward ratio is 1:5. So Tarunji, your query related to Orient Chem, so you got the complete practical done here. Yeah, I hope I've managed to solve your query. Okay. Second query is related to Bharat Forge. Bharat Forge is in a consolidation, as you can see on the chart here. This is the resistance that the stock is trading at, and this level has been acting as support. So there is multiple times the stock has managed to bounce back from this level of 600, and this is the resistance, as you can see. After every up move, the stock has faced resistance. So this level of 720, 740 is very important. The stock has to break past these levels of 720 and 740 for the stock to start a fresh up move. This is Bharat Forge. The next query is put forth by Bhushanji, and Bhushanji is asking about KCL, that is Kirloskar Electric. Bhushanji, you have to be cautious in this stock. The reason is, see, last time also, yeah, in 2015 and 2016, the stock did a similar kind of a formation here. So after a consolidation for many years, the stock generated a breakout, as you can see in 2016. But what happened is, after that breakout, the stock failed to sustain at higher levels. So these levels were resistance for the stock. Here you can see the stock generated a breakout. The stock from levels of 45, 48 also moved up to levels of 70. So it's not that the stock did not display a move, the stock also displayed a move. But then what happened was, later on it all fizzled. It failed to sustain at higher levels. And therefore you have to be very cautious. All trades that you take in this stock have to be taken with a strict stop loss. Okay, now looking at the current chart, the levels that will play an important role now going forward will be a recent resistance of 30. See this level here, the red color horizontal line that I am plotting. This is going to play an important role. Once the stock manages to break past levels of 30, the stock would aim for levels of 42. So above 30, you play, once the breakout happens, you place a stop loss below it, place a stop loss at 28, and then you think of profit booking around levels of 41, 42. That is quite possible. But wait for this breakout to happen. And many a times what happens, now this is a monthly chart. Many a times what happens is, if you look at the daily chart, you'll find that the stock moves up and moves down with in circuit filters, right? So if the stock moves in circuits, then exiting such kind of a stock also becomes difficult. But yes, you can always trade with a stop loss, and if you're able to exit, then you can think of a fresh trade once this horizontal line, red color horizontal line at 30, 31 is, you usually do that. Your next query is related to SPIC. I see. What happened is, in case of SPIC, the stock failed to sustain at higher levels. So if you look at these horizontal lines that I have plotted, these are all resistance lines. And these lines have been acting as a resistance right from 1995, 96, as you can see on the chart. So you can see how many times the stock has faced resistance here. So every time that the stock goes to these levels, it fails to sustain at higher levels. Now the only positive which I am able to see on the short term charts, short term, by short term I mean the last few years of chart, is the stock now, earlier for the last many years, the stock used to trade below levels of 45. Now one positive thing that you can see on the chart is, now the level has changed and now the stock is finding undercurrent at that level of 40. That is a positive. So right now, range bound between levels of 45 and upsides to 70, 75. It is this kind of a trade that can be seen on the chart. Stock is trading in this range. So you can do a momentum trade. You buy at around 45, keep a stop loss at 39, exit around levels of 65, 70. That is quite possible in this case. This is Bhushanji, your query related to KECL and SPIC. The next query is asked by Mahesh Boraji, and is asking about Vodafone. What is the future of this company? Okay, this is Vodafone. Right now on the chart, the stock is not managed to gather interest, but as you know that there are 5G spectrum auctions which are going to happen. Maybe that could be a trigger. That can be a trigger. I mean, I'm not sure about it, but that can be a trigger in the stock, and that is something. If that happens, if that goes positive for the stock, then yes, there can be buying interest which may be seen in the stock. But right now there is no kind of buying interest. You can see volumes are also drying up. So I would not. So either you exit this stock and you shift to Bharti Airtel or maybe Reliance. That is one thing that you can do, or you can continue to hold this stock till the 5G auctions happen and do a review again once that. So if that, so you have to see whether that helps the stock generate fresh kind of buying interest. If that happens, then we can take a review on the stock. Right now, as you can see, the stock is drifting, the stock is trading low volumes. This is idea. The next stock, the next query is Nesco, should we buy or hold the quantity we have? See, this is the chart of Nesco. Nesco, as you can see, is in a consolidation. So here you can see the stock is in a consolidation. So this is the support and this is the resistance. So wait for the stock to move out of this range. So the existing position that you have, you should continue to hold. This level of 500 is a support, so you can hold with the stop loss at 490. And your query related to adding, once this resistance here, the resistance levels are broken around 650, then you can think of adding position in the stock as well. But right now it is hold, because as you can see, the stock is in a narrowing kind of a consolidation. Here, this is your query, Mahesh Boraji, related to Vodafone and Nesco. Now let's look at the next query. Next query is asked by Gaurav Ji, and is asking about FSL and Ratan India Enterprise. FSL. Gaurav Ji, this is all-time chart of FSL, as you can see here. Now on this chart you can see that the current level that the stock trades at is a very important level. So this level of 83 and 93 acted as a resistance in the year 2007, 2008 again, then again in 2018, and here later after breakout this acted as a support, and currently the price is trading above this level. So this is a very important level for the stock, 83 and 93. If you want, I will write it here on the chart that it becomes easy for you to understand. So currently the stock is trading above this level, support at 93 and 83. So till the time the stock trades above this level, if you are holding a trade in this, if you are holding position, then continue to hold. Stop loss for the trade should be at around 80. The stock has already witnessed a sharp kind of a correction. So after this kind of a sharp correction, ideally the stock should be able to gather buying interest at the support level. So give it some more time. So Give it some more time to trade at these support levels. Let's see how it reacts at these support levels, whether it manages to attract buying support, and then maybe we will do a review. But right now the stock has approached support, and you should continue to hold with the stop loss at 80 rupees. Your next query is related to Ratan India Enterprises. This is the chart of Ratan India. As you can see, the stock is going through a consolidation, right? So this is the support level around 40, and this is the resistance around levels of 60. So this is resistance and this is support. So if you are holding position, then continue to hold with the stop loss below this level. So your stop loss can be at around 36, and remember the stop loss has to be on closing basis. If you are thinking of getting into a fresh trade, then wait for the stock to generate a breakout above this resistance. Once that breakout happens, then you can think of getting into a fresh trade as well. See, these were your queries related to Ratan India. Next, I hope I managed to solve your queries, Gauravji. Next query is put forth by Arvind Jain ji, and he's asking about Sundaram Fasteners. Arvind Jain ji, this is the chart of Sundaram Fasteners. Now, as you can see, the stock is right now in a consolidation, and this consolidation range, here you can see this is the support level. This is the support level around 700. This is the resistance. Stock is trading in this range right now. So wait for the stock to come out of this range. If you are holding position, then you should hold with a stop loss below these levels. So 650 should be your stop loss for your existing positions. And I would suggest that all trades that you take should be with a stop loss. So there's no point in holding the stock, continuously holding the stock, right? So right now I have a stop loss at 650 for the existing position that you have in this stock. Okay, next query is put forth by Dushan Patil ji, and this query is related to Thyrocare. Check the chart of Thyrocare. This is the chart of Thyrocare. Dushan Pandit ji, if you look at this chart, you'll find that there is continuous weakness in this on the stock chart. That, as you can see, the stock has broken. Okay, now there is one support there which the stock has managed to respect, has managed to hold. This support is at around 608 levels. One second, I'll just tell you the exact level that is there. 608 and 603. Write it down. Support at 608 and 603. So basically, if you are holding a position in the stock, then watch this support level. If this support breaks, then I would suggest that you exit the stock, because in that case, as you can see, the weakness that the stock has already witnessed, the weakness can deepen. If the stock does not break this level of support at 608 and 603, then quite possibly we may also see a bounce back, but the bounce back will be limited to these resistance levels that are there at around 650. So 650 and 603 should be the current range for the stock. Any of these levels when broken, you should either do a review or you should act. Act means if you are holding a position, have a stop loss at 600. If that's broken, if stop loss is triggered, then exit the trade. Okay, next query is put forth by Rohit G and he's asking about TPL Plast. Rohit G, if you look at this chart, this is a long-term chart, monthly chart for TPL Plastech. The current levels that the stock is trading are resistance levels. So in 2018, the stock faced resistance at current level. So every time that the stock has moved above this level of 180 and 185, there has been selling pressure which has brought the stock down. I will just plot these horizontal lines here and then I will also show this to you with by plotting arrows. So right from levels of 180 to levels of 230, there are a lot of resistances there on the chart. So these are levels of 2018, as you can see. This is 2021. So here the price tried to go up, but it failed. Then again 2022. Currently the price is trading below this level, right? So wait for the stock to generate a breakout. The stock has to break past all these resistances. So cluster of resistances is there. So Rohit ji, you have to wait for this resistance to be broken. Resistance band is right from 180 to 230, a 50 rupee band that is there in this case. But once this band is broken, then after that the stock would aim for levels of 360 and 380 as well. That is quite possible. So avoid any trades below resistance, what I would suggest. This is a view on your query related to TPL Plastics. Pushpa ji is asking about India Cements. Pushpa ji, this is the chart of India Cements. As you can see, the stock has managed to generate support levels here, and it has been respecting this level for the last more than 1 year. So that is a positive on the chart. But on the upside, the stock has not been able to make new highs. So every time that the stock goes to the levels of 200 and it crosses that level of 200, there is profit booking which brings the stock down again. So a very big kind of a selling band, profit booking band that you can see on the chart here. See, right from 200 to 260, there is a complete selling band. There is undercurrent at these levels of 200, but then as it moves above 200, you can see all these selling candles. So this profit booking band. So for the stock to become interesting on the long-term chart, the stock has to break past this resistance band. That is very important. Until the time that does not happen, the stock may continue its consolidation. The lower side support would be around 150 and higher side resistance will be between 200 and 260. Yes, this is your query related to India Cements. Next query that you have is Subex. This is the chart of Subex. This is a short-term chart, daily chart of Subex. These are resistance levels. Subex also is in a downtrend for the last many days. The stock has to move above this resistance. So a resistance at around 29 is important to be watched. Once 29 is broken on the upside, the stock will aim for levels of, see, once this is broken on the upside, the stock will aim for levels of 33 and then finally levels of 43 here. But right now watch this level of 29, which is acting as a resistance, and you can see multiple times this level has acted as a resistance, plus it has also acted as a support. So this is a very important level for the stock. 29 is the level which you have to watch. So Pushpaji, these were your stock queries related to India Cements and Subex. Next query is put forth by Samir Dharji, and he's asking about ITC and Tata Steel. Samir Dharji, this is ITC. So ITC is in a strong kind of an up move. Just delete the study here. ITC is moving in a strong kind of an up move. It has managed to buck the trend in the markets for the last few months. It has been showing strength, so that is a positive. Now on the upside, where will the stock go to? The stock will go to these resistance levels of 310. Then next resistance is at 322, and after that the final resistance around 360. Right, so these are the resistance levels which you have to watch. The current momentum looks positive. The stock has managed to garner buying interest at all support levels, and therefore these are the levels that you have to watch: 310, 322 and 368. These are the possible upside up targets for this stock. Your next query is related to Tata Steel. See, we had discussed about this support level last time as well. So this there was a support band between 827 and 929. That is a support band right now. How important is this support? Here you can see in the chart, in 2007 the stock went up to these levels between 800 and 900, and that is where it faced resistance, and after that, so multiple times it reached there, and after that the stock had witnessed a sharp kind of a downfall. Now this time, as the stock has gone up above this level is now trading as a support level for the stock, and the price is also respecting that level. That is a positive. So now watch these levels of 827 and 929. Till the time the stock trades above these levels, the bias in the stock will remain positive. The only thing is upsides would be limited right now. So as the stock trades above levels of 929 and 827, there are chances that slowly and steadily the stock will next move to levels of 1000 and 1060. So this should be the next resistance for the stock, and this one would be the next resistance. 1000 and 1060 should be the next resistance. The only thing that concerns me in this complete move is the falling volume. So if you look at volumes, the price is going up. Okay, so if you look at this price, the price surely has gone up in the last few days from 850 to 940. But if you look at the volumes here, the volumes are also shrinking. So that is a sign of concern. So if this move would have been with volumes, then quite possibly the price would have found it easy to sustain at higher levels. But because it is falling volumes which is taking the price up, I think one has to be a little bit cautious whether the price manages to sustain at higher levels or not. Okay. So levels which you have to watch is 929 and 827, which are support levels, and on the upside 1000 and 1060 is the resistance for. This is your query related to Tata Steel. So ITC and Tata Steel is what we Mustafa ji, welcome. Jagdish ji is asking about Delta Corp. Let's see the chart of Delta Corp. Delta Corp also gone through a sharp kind of corrections recently. Okay. Now, if you look at the short-term chart of Delta Corp, then you'll find that at current levels, the stock is trying to create a base for itself. So you can see it here. So this is the base formation that the stock is trying to do, and the stock is trading range bound. So 160 is the support level, 190, 92 is the resistance level for the stock. You can see it is trading range bound between these two levels, right? So for higher targets, wait for the stock to break past this resistance at 191, 192. Once that happens, the higher target would get activated, in which case that would be 230, 240. These targets would get activated. But right now, it is trading range bound. So watch these levels 160 and 190. And if you're a part of my mentorship program, if you're already getting updates from me on your WhatsApp, then whenever there is a right opportunity in Delta Corp, you will be updated, get an update from me. Got it? So this is your query related to Delta Corp. Okay, next query is put forth by Samir Dharji, and he's asking about ब्रिटानिया लॉन्ग टर्म रख सकते हैं. ओके कूल, लेट्स लुक एट लॉन्ग टर्म चार्ट ऑफ ब्रिटानिया. फिलहाल तो समीर जी देखिए अप ट्रेंड में है तो आप रख सकते हैं. ये देखिए ये लॉन्ग टर्म चार्ट है ब्रिटानिया का. तो जब तक ये इस ट्रेंड में बना रहता है तब तक आप होल्ड कीजिए. इसमें सपोर्ट कौन से लेवल्स पे है, तो ये देखिए 3050 रुपए की लेवल पे इसमें सपोर्ट बनता है. तो इसके नीचे स्टॉप लॉस रख दीजिए. जब तक इसके ऊपर ट्रेड करता है तब तक होल्ड कीजिए. अब इसमें फ्रेश मूव कब स्टार्ट होगी, इसमें फ्रेश मूव तब स्टार्ट होगी जब ये कंसोलिडेशन में से बाहर निकलेगा. तो कंसोलिडेशन का जो रेंज है, ये रेंज आपको दिख जाएगा 4000 से लेके 4150. इस तरीके का इस रेंज है स्टॉक के लिए, 4000 और 4150. तो ये रेंज में फिलहाल ट्रेड कर रहा है. 3000 रुपये का स्टॉप लॉस नीचे का है नो डाउट, लेकिन वही तो रेंज है. लॉन्ग टर्म के व्यू से 3000 का स्टॉप लॉस होगा और 4150 के ऊपर जब ये चलेगा तब हम ऊपर के टारगेट्स इसके बारे में सोच सकते हैं. तो आपका जो सवाल है लॉन्ग टर्म रख सकते हैं क्या, तो हाँ लॉन्ग टर्म रख सकते हैं. 3000 का स्टॉप लॉस आप रख दीजिए. अगली क्वेरी है नामदेव बोरसी जी की. वो पूछते हैं वर्लपूल के बारे में. वर्लपूल से कुछ दिनों में जंप हमें देखने को मिली है. मुझे लगता है कि ये क्वेरी आ चुकी है. अब ये देखिए करंट लेवल्स पे ये जो करंट लेवल्स है यहाँ पे इसमें रेजिस्टेंस भी है. देखिए तो 1700 1900 इस तरीके की इसमें रेजिस्टेंसेस है. देयर आर रेजिस्टेंस एट दीज लेवल्स एज यू कैन सी. 1725 is the resistance. Once 1725 is broken, the stock will head for levels of 1900 on the upside. That is possible. Bullish view fails if the stock falls below 1725. So there is no bullish view if the stock falls below 1725. This is what you have to keep in mind. So this is your query related to Whirlpool. I hope I have managed to solve most of your queries. If I have missed if I have missed queries put by some of you, then what you can do is, if you are a member of my mentorship program, you can post those queries to me on WhatsApp. I will solve those queries immediately. Don't worry about it. All your queries will get solved. And if you're not a member, then what you can do is you can post that query using on our website using the Ask Mandar button on the home page, so that we can discuss your query in the next session. Now the view on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty, for that I will upload a separate video which you can access, because this video becomes lengthy and then it becomes difficult for people to search for the view on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. So I will not add Nifty and Bank Nifty in this video. I will do a separate video for that. So we will continue to do these kinds of live sessions wherein we discuss your stock related queries and any other queries that you have. Plus, I will also try to have some sessions, some videos related to options and futures as well, because many of you have shown interest in derivatives trading. So we will do that as well. So for now, I'm sure if you have liked this session, then do give this session a thumbs up. Write your comments in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe the channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you remain updated about all the new things that are happening, new videos that come up, and live sessions like these. Until the next session, thank you for joining me today. Goodbye.